Okay, I think it's the right time to open officially our conference. My name is Daria Modrzejewska. I am the Dean of Preschool and Early Child Education Faculty at the University of Humanities and Economics in Łódź. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the SafeOnline conference, which is organized by the Faculty of Early Child Education, the Faculty of Psychology and the Department for International Cooperation at the University of Łódź. Today's conference, entitled One Word, One Web, One Goal, Digital Safety for All, is a final step in our 2 years Erasmus Plus program. This event brings together experts, teachers, pupils, academic teachers, all united by one goal: to promote safety, awareness, and well-being in digital world. It is my great pleasure to welcome the authorities of our university, our rector, Dr. Wiesław Przybyła. I am also delighted to welcome our conference guest, the professor of Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznań, Professor Jacek Pyżalski. Dr. Kamila Witerska from the University of Warsaw. Dr. Kamila Lasocińska, that represents the Faculty of Early Child Education as well as the Faculty of Pedagogy at our university. And Mrs. Magdalena Prasow, that represents the Faculty of Psychology at our university. A special word of welcome goes to the representatives of the organizations that have granted the patronage to this event. Mrs. Magdalena Senator from the National Agency for Erasmus Plus program. Mrs. Małgorzata Bury from Regional Education Authority in Łódź. I am equally pleased to welcome also our international project partners of SafeOnline from Cardet and UNIC from Cyprus, the institution that is KMOP from Greece, IDL from France, Rural Hub from Ireland, and San Giovanni from Italy. And finally, I warmly welcome all the participants of this conference, teachers, educators, psychologists, and all who care about digital safety. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor to invite our rector of the university, Dr. Wiesław Przybyła, to deliver a short welcome speech.
Hello. Dzień dobry Państwu. Ja po polsku, mamy tutaj większość uczestników z Polski. Bardzo mnie się podoba hasło, rozumiem, że pani doktor, całego projektu, że jednym wspólnym celem naszej konferencji, projektu, ale też starań, które są efektem wyzwań cywilizacyjnych stojących przed nami, jest bezpieczeństwo cyfrowe, jest walka z cyberprzemocą, jest walka o cyberbezpieczeństwo. Bardzo krótko, ponieważ wiem, że program konferencji jest niezwykle bogaty. Witam serdecznie naszych gości z zagranicy, welcome. Witam nauczycieli, oni są zawsze przemile widziani w naszych murach. Witam naukowców, pana profesora, uznany autorytet. Po raz pierwszy mam przyjemność spotkać w życiu i jest to ogromna przyjemność. Witam drogą młodzież ze szkół. Życzę wszystkim gościom, życzę prelegentom dużej intelektualnej korzyści, ale również i zastosowania wszystkich idei, które tutaj zostaną przedstawione, rozwiązań, wdrożeń w waszym życiu, tak aby żadna krzywda związana z cyberbezpieczeństwem, zwłaszcza wy, młodzi przyjaciele, wam się nie przydarzyła. Dziękuję pięknie, wszystkich pozdrawiam i czujcie się w naszych murach jak u siebie.
And now I give the floor to Marta Chmielewska-Nielak, who is the project coordinator at the International Project Department at our university.
Thank you, Daria. As Daria already introduced me, I think I will skip this part of introducing myself. But of course, I would like to welcome you very warmly at our conference. And before I give the floor to our speakers, I would like to introduce you shortly to our agenda. Actually, our conference is divided into two parts. First part is designated to the presentation of work packages, intellectual outputs that we elaborated during the whole project. The second one are speeches of our special guests related to the topic of electronic aggression, risky behavior, prevention and empathy against bullying. And the third one is a panel discussion addressing important topics related to cyberbullying. And between the sessions there are 2 coffee breaks, lunch, and officially after lunch there is the closure of our conference, a short information for people who registered, people who wanted a digital certificates, they will be delivered via your emails until the 14th of November. The latest, people who didn't register for our conference but they signed up while coming here, they can also be sent the certificates after the conference. And what is really important, at the back of your badges, you have 2 QR codes. The first one directs you to the agenda of, actually to the website conference with the agenda of the whole program. And the second one is a questionnaire, and it's very important for us to fill in the questionnaire during the conference because, you know, we want to know your opinion, your feedback about the conference. So thank you very much in advance. Now I would like to ask our first partner from Cyprus, Elena Kseni, to present our work package 2. The floor is yours, Eleni. Come, please. Should be here. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. You have our special regards from Cyprus, which is quite sunny nowadays. Glad to be in Łódź, which is also sunny, and glad to be able to present to you our hard work that has been done within the last 2 years. We are really thankful for being here. Thank you to Marta and Daria for inviting us here and managing a successful final meeting of this project and a final conference. And I am mainly here to present you the large work package of the research and activities package, work package 2. Together we will go through what has been done since the early days, answering why is this project important, why have we got funded to begin with, and what have we done research and practice-wise, and of course, what the next steps are. Thank you all for being here, and thank you for letting us know how we went in the end of the day with filling in the questionnaire that is behind the budget. Thank you. So we will go through the project in highlights, starting with the national report, the guide that we have prepared, and I will give you a very quick taste of our awareness campaign. So the SafeOnline project was co-funded by Erasmus Plus to deal with cyberbullying, a large and hot issue nowadays among schools, homes, societies. Our target group was primary and secondary students across 6 European countries. We aimed at comparing transnational data, raising awareness, equipping educators with actionable methods, and foster inclusion and resilience in school communities. Our main results and outputs consisted of the package and guide that I will be presenting with the next few minutes, the e-toolkit with interactive simulator that one of our colleagues will be presenting in a while, and the training program for educators, school leaders, and school staff, which is again one of our milestones and very well needed nowadays in our schools. So when you get our report, that is in English and in all languages, you will find primarily our executive summary. In our executive summary, you get to view very quickly the thematic focus of this project, the research, the key findings, and the main implications, which we will be seeing in a while. So the project, as we have said, aimed to develop a whole school participatory approach, which is a very, very helpful approach nowadays after we have failed in dealing with the hot issues of education within the last 5 years. The whole school approach seems to provide answers, pathways, future, and hope in how to deal with difficult issues nowadays. So, developing a whole school approach, participatory approach, empowering all school actors to prevent cyberbullying with a focus on students and of course their teachers. With our research, we had spent much time with enrolling 50 educators in a focus group and 257 survey respondents, which was really impressive to us, from all our partner countries, all our consortium countries, from Cyprus, Poland, Italy, Greece, Ireland, and France. Our key findings show that there are, commonalities of course, but challenges and differences in cyberbullying prevalence, legal frameworks, and prevention strategies across our countries. And this is what we will see again in a while together. Our main implication highlights and stresses a continuous teacher training and supportive school climate that should be vital to effectively protect our students in an evolving digital environment. We cannot skip digital environments and digital updates, but we shouldn't be skipping ways to protect. So for our research methodology, we had 7 partners. Remember, we are 6, but 2 from Cyprus. We all collaborated harmonically, and we went through desk research, lit review, and field research. For our desk research, we have synthesized national literature on cyberbullying prevalence, preventing measures, intervention strategies, and legal frameworks. And as I said, for our field research, we had focus groups with 50 people in schools and a survey with 257 respondents. Our participants were a large family of school leaders in service and trainee teachers, students, and teacher educators. And we have run these quite time-consuming research for an Erasmus project throughout February and March 2024, so last year, under, of course, and by all means, ethical protocols ensuring confidentiality and GDPR compliance. What we have done to begin with our research was to get to see the characteristic of bullying. What is cyberbullying? What is it exactly? What are the parts of it, the reasons for it? So we have found in defining cyberbullying that it involves repeated hostile digital communications with intent, unfortunately, to harm, including insults, threats, exclusion, and sharing harmful content. Where does it happen? It happens via social media and messaging applications. These are the main platforms of cyberbullying when it happens. Where does it impact? Well, it impacts and it leads to anxiety, depression, social isolation, and sometimes students even think of ending their lives, so suicidal ideation. Are there gender differences? Do girls and boys generally act the same ways? Well, no. Girls tend to be more frequently affected than boys, and this points to specific vulnerabilities. So, context-wise, cyberbullying correlates strongly with negative school climate and student low self-esteem. And this answers why, this gives an answer to why we are dealing with it. Why is it important? We have found, yes, national differences. When we started conducting our research, we were interested in getting to see what it is about, what are the characteristics, where are the similarities in between countries. But in a cross-cultural analysis, you are interested in also, well, you're interested when you find differences as well. So there are differences in cyberbullying. In Poland and Italy, for example, there is an emphasis on integrated school policies and media literacy education to build social competences and preventing culture. In France and Greece, at the same time, collaborative frameworks involving families, schools, and authorities with formal prevention campaigns and guidelines are happening. In Cyprus, there is a focus on raising awareness on the community level, but there is a need for stronger and clearer anti-bullying policies. And Ireland, from what we have found out, adopts a whole school approach, which is the consortium goal, with continual evaluation and engagement with vulnerable students. We have found, and this is very encouraging, that all countries do take measures and do have intervention strategies. And we are just summing them up on this slide. In Poland, for example, there are annual strategic plans that include students, teachers, and parents, and they put emphasis on media education and bystander engagement. So they do refer to bullying, cyberbullying. In Italy, on another note, legal mandates for staff training, family involvement, peer support system, fostering environments are part of the agenda of measures and strategies. In Cyprus, there is this trend of awareness through school visits. And the police and community are also collaborating for the last couple of years when it comes to bullying and cyberbullying. In France, there are ministry-led resources and training, and training attempts happening, mandatory anti-bullying plans with targeted cyberbullying initiatives also, which is very encouraging. And in Greece and Ireland, there is a use of campaigns and whole school audits, as well as NGO partnership to build in reporting channels and support mechanisms. So there are measures taken and strategies intervention in all of our consortium countries, but there are still gaps. Have we solved the problem? No. Is the problem still existing? Yes, and unfortunately, it will be going on and on and on unless we start or continue to move with activities, strategies, policies to deal with it. A common challenge in red that we are highlighting in our report is the need for practical tools and clear procedures rather than general advice for education and educators. You know, we have very well engaged and marvelous teachers in our schools, everywhere in our consortium. They had their advice, they have their background, they have their lifelong learning lives and interests. They don't just need advice, they need practical tools, resources and procedures. And this is what we feel that we have, and we believe that we have managed to do with this project. And yes, there are legal frameworks in our countries and all over Europe. There are regulations, but still, we need to work for clearer, more straightforward procedures that refer to the whole school approach. So they vary considerably, as you may understand, the legal frameworks. There's much progress noted in Poland, in France, in Italy, with Cyprus and Greece facing notable gaps. And collaborative enforcement and funding are really critical towards managing cyberbullying in our contexts. As I said before, and as we have underlined, there was research going on, and with the participants' profile being mainly female teachers of the age of 30 to 59 with over 20 years teaching experience. And it was a marvelous opportunity to get to meet these teachers, talk to them, have them opening their minds and hearts and everyday practices, sharing with us their needs, their gaps, their aspirations, and having this nice, frank talk about education and their everyday lives in class. Data collection consisted of it was a mixture of face-to-face and virtual focus groups, of course anonymous, and of course everybody signed a consent form before we proceeded. And as it happens in our research ethical contexts, if one wanted to leave and stop with this research, he and she could do it without a second thought and without any consequence. Key findings from our research. Cyberbullying is seen as pervasive. It is acknowledged as a daily challenge affecting students' well-being, social life, and learning. This is really, really critical. Our teachers face challenges: inadequate training, unclear policies, limited collaboration with families. All these hinder effective intervention, and we will get back to it in our panel discussion in a while. There is a call for concrete resources. Our teachers request clear step-by-step intervention procedures, concrete tools, reporting mechanisms, and victim support frameworks. So we highlight resources, procedures, frameworks. Enough with advice. We are very grateful for the advice, but we need something more depth nowadays. There is a need for ongoing training, so staying current with fast-evolving digital technologies and platforms is a must for all of us. Parents, teachers, students, everybody dealing, and everybody that cyberbullying impacts. Recommendations for policy and practice that you will find in more depth in our report. Strengthen legal frameworks. We need to define cyberbullying clearly, and since it is changing, we need to do it consistently. We need to establish reporting steps and consequences and improve victim protectors. The victim is not alone and should never be. Increase funding for awareness campaigns, educational programs, and educator support, teacher support. Develop training, practical, scenario-based teacher training, focusing on identification, digital citizenship, intervention techniques. We recommend continuous learning, which is a need, workshops on emerging platforms and threats to ensure preparedness, projects, this type of conferences and get-together that mix authorities with other stakeholders like teachers, students. These are well needed and much needed. Enhance collaboration, establish cyberbullying response teams involving educators, parents, law enforcement. Remember, we have talked about a whole school approach, not having stakeholders contributing individually, but have them all together in response teams. Provide tools, lesson plans, supporting templates, digital partnership curricula, online reporting platforms. There are so many new texts and new contexts that we should visit and we should start working with in order to provide massive, important, critical tools. Promote positive school culture, inclusive, empathetic environments to prevent and address cyberbullying proactively. In the conclusion of our report, we highlight that cyberbullying is a multifaceted threat. It's not just one thing. It requires coordinated, multi-level responses in education and policy under the umbrella of a whole school approach nowadays. The SafeOnline project, our project, contributes to a comprehensive framework and evidence base to support schools in our 6 countries. Continuous adaptation, educator empowerment, and legal banking are essential to effectively protect our students. Prioritizing, putting emphasis and priorities on empathy, respect, and digital literacy fosters safe and supporting learning environments, as we have seen and as it emerges from our project and our transnational report. Remember, the transnational report was just the start. The research was just the beginning. After that, the research gave us enough information and enough data to move to the guide, which you may find online, of course, even today, if you visit our project's website. For this guide, what have we done? Well, we have managed to base this, after this research, on the result of the research. It includes a collection of guidelines and best practices. Remember, our teacher spoke about the need for more, for clear procedures, best practices, tools. So here we are with one of the attempts that may help teachers and help schools and students with a collection of guidelines and best practices on how schools can prevent and deal with cyberbullying. In particular, the guide aims to equip school leaders and school teachers with practical guidelines and best practices on how to take care of bullying, how to deal with it by improving their professional and teaching activities. We are really grateful for this fund, grateful for this consortium, grateful for our hard work, and grateful for what we have came up with, since it also aims to provide the school leaders with the ability to successfully use a practical package, because it is practical, as you will see, and a practical guide that will improve the teachers' competences and everyday practices, of course, in combating cyberbullying in schools and equipping students, especially students in vulnerable contexts, with necessary skills to deal with such a phenomenon. We have to stress that the issue that the guide addresses is unfortunately likely to remain as a priority in the EU policies for the nearest future, because the problem is huge and the gaps are really a lot. We are hopeful that we will be given the opportunity, as and several other groups, to continue with these efforts. So, a little bit more about the guide. 3 sections. The first section is the current state of cyberbullying. The second section provides you some beautiful guidelines that we came up with, that we studied, and this comes from all of the consortium contexts. And 25 best practice examples that we truly love because we do understand that they will help you in your everyday practices. Please pay a visit to our website and download this guide. Visit our guide and share. So, after the research and after the guide, we had some material that we felt really proud of, and we had to spread the news, to disseminate, make them known. This gathering, get-together gathering, is a beautiful opportunity to spread the news, but we also took the opportunity to run SafeOnline awareness campaigns. We run campaigns in all of our countries. Actually, until the last day of the project, until the end of November, all of us will be running the last parts of our online campaign, where through Kahoot, we invite everybody to come, learn, and play, and also share what they have informed, what they have been informed, what they find out about cyberbullying with their friends, at home, at the community, and share the Kahoot as well. With this Kahoot and play, I am finishing this presentation, thanking you for your participation.
Okay. Okay, so. Okay. Thank you, Elena. It was really interesting. I have a question to the audience. Do you have some questions? Maybe you'd like to ask something about what we already presented. Of course, all the deliverables are available on our website. There will be QR code when all the presentation will be finished, and you can scan it. You can visit our website. All the deliverables are already uploaded in all languages of our consortium. So we invite you very warmly to check out, to know what we produced.
And of course, don't forget to play with the Kahoot and find out about cyberbullying and share. Thank you.
Okay, so if there are no questions, I would like to invite, thank you, Elena. I would like to invite our next speaker, Aya Sigura from IDL from France, who will be presenting our work package 3. The floor is yours, Aya.
Dzień dobry. Hello, I'm Aya from IDL, Infinitivity Design Lab from France, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. Infinitivity Design Lab is an IT consultant company, and we made an E2 box. So I'm going to take you through the E2 box today. Okay, so we have 4 parts. First, I'm going to show you the big picture, and then I'm going to show you 3 different elements in the 2 box. And I'm trying to be as interactive as possible, and I would like to practice a little bit. If you are a speaker of Polish, can you clap your hands? Okay. If you are a speaker of English, can you clap your hands? Okay, that's good. Italian? Okay. Okay, I try to be as interactive as possible, so I hope you enjoy the presentation. Okay, so I'm going to show you the big picture of the toolbox. It's a box that you can find the tool, so you can find all the materials and resources in this platform. Now, you can take out your phone and read this QR code to access to our e-toolbox, so we can go through it together, okay? I'm going to wait, so when you're ready, you can make eye contact with me, so I know you're ready. If you're having a problem, you can raise your hands too. Okay. I can see some people has finished. It's ready. Good. Thank you. Yeah, don't get distracted with other apps. We're just focusing on this. So when you're ready, make eye contact with me. Okay, I'm going to go to the next slide. So when you access to the QR code, I think the number 1, that's the screen you have, correct? And then you can tap on the login and sign up options. You see on the top, it's in the orange letters. Okay, and then it leads you to the second screen. You can sign up through Google, or you can make your username and password. It's quite easy. I prefer Google, it's easier. Okay, so now when you have the account, you can log in. It's like a first login. You find it on the top of the screen. You can put the information. Here we have Fabiola, my colleague, and I'm not going to show you her password, but you put your password, okay? And you get the confirmation email, so you have to go to the email to activate the account as well. You're right there? Good. Okay. So now, this e-toolbox is for a lot of people. It's not only for teachers, it's also for students and teachers, of course, and school leaders and parents as well. So let's see how many students we have today. If you are a student, can you clap your hands? Okay, and if you're a teacher, can you, or work in the school? Okay, good. And if you're a parent, if you have children, clap your hands, please. Okay. Okay, and this e-toolbox is available in English, Greek, Italian, French, and Polish. So it can be used by many people with different language speakers. Okay, so when you go down at the bottom of the screen, you can find the button that says Start the Journey Now, and you can click on that. And as you can see on the next screen, there are two big sections of this toolbox. One is for the students, and the other one is for the teacher and the parents. Okay? And you can click to enter this course. Depending on who you are. If you're a student, you click on the one for the students, and if you're teachers, you click on the one for the teachers and parents, okay? Let's see if this one works. Ah, there. Here, you can see students, okay? All right. Okay, and you can go down, scroll down at the bottom of the page to find this Enroll Me button, okay, to get enrolled. Yeah, let me know if I'm going too fast. All right, so now you have the access to our e-toolbox. And I'm going to show you different elements of what you can find in the toolbox. So now you don't need to go through your phone, so you can turn it off and you can focus on our slide. Okay, so first we have interactive simulator. This is something you might want to use on the desktop, but this is for students. You can learn about SafeOnline, how to stay online through simulator. It's a very interactive way to learn knowledge, and it's kind of like a game, so it's fun as well. Okay, and it's the heart of the SafeOnline e-toolkit, and it's a scenario-based and gamified modules. And you can choose different languages, and so it's available in any languages here. Okay, and this is an example of how it's going to look like. So here it says, in today's digital age, the internet is an integral part of our lives, offering incredible opportunity for learning, connection, and entertainment. However, along with these benefits come potential risks, including the serious issues of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying involves using digital platform to harm or harass others, and it can have significant emotional and psychological effects. So this is kind of like the introduction of what we are learning. And then you're going to have the different steps. So if you click on one first, for example, it shows you the first scenario. Scenario 1, social media accounts and distressing messages from fake profiles. Okay, so here you can see the sad-looking boy, John. Oops. Yeah, a 15-year-old student was bullied online by his classmates. This started when he posted about his hobby on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. And some classmates made fun of him. The bullying got worse as his classmates used fake accounts to send John distressing messages and share embarrassing photos and lies about him. They also helped group chats to plan how to spread these posts so that more people would see them. See, social medias can do a lot of great things, but it can do a lot of terrible things too. And this is one example. And then you can choose what's the best thing to do here. What could John do to address the cyberbullying he is experiencing? Okay, so the first option is ignore the messages and hope they stop on their own. And the second option is report the bullying to his parents, school teachers, and social media platforms. The last option is respond aggressively to the bullies using fake accounts himself. All right, let's see. If you think one is the best solution, clap your hands, please. Okay. If you think 2 is the best response, clap your hands, please. Okay. If you think 3 is the best solution, clap your hands, please. Okay, it's good to see. So I thought everybody would clap on for the one option, but you can see some dynamics have different response, right? So for students, oops, actually the correct answer will be the second option. You should not fight back. You should report it to the teachers and adults and social media platforms, okay? All right, so that was the interactive simulator that you can find in the e-toolbox. Okay, the next part is the digital step-by-step guide. Okay, so this is more for the teachers. You can find, so when school tells you to do something new, it's your job to make a new poster or whatever on top of what you're already doing. And that's a lot of work, but we did it for you. So you can find posters and infographics, and it's the step-by-step guide on our e-toolbox. This is a visual and action-oriented resources for promoting responsible and safe online behavior. Okay, it's a guide, so you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's action-based. It's not just awareness. You can ask students to do actual actions, okay? And it's available in English, French, Greek, Italian, and Polish. So you basically can just print it out and put it on your classroom or ICT classroom. And well, first you learn about it, and then you can implement it in your class. Okay, and this is another step-by-step guide. So it's a detail. It's just a detail of example. Okay, only share necessary information online. So that's one of the. So if you go back to the infographic here, oh, yeah. So it's a bit small. So I'm going to show you the bigger version. Okay, so this is what it looks like, and for example, only share necessary information online. Adjust settings on social media to control who can see your information. Maybe some people don't know. Actually, students might know this one better than adults, actually. But it's good for teachers to know their options to change the setting, and then you can tell the students to let them know as well. And don't click on suspicious links. Obvious, but still. Okay, and respect others online. Think before you post. Consider the impact of your words and images. And do not participate in or tolerate online bullying. Okay. The last part is the lesson plans and online open education resources. This is also for the teachers and also parents. Okay. So there are 35 ready-to-use lesson plans. So you're welcome. You don't have to make lesson plans for this anymore. We have it. You can just download it in our e-toolbox. And for different age groups. So we're trying to teach SafeOnline, but depending on the different age group, like primary school and secondary school, is a little different. So we have adjusted the lesson plans depending on the age of the students. Okay, and these tools empower adults to confidently approach topics like cyberbullying, digital resilience, and responsible online behavior. Okay. So this is what the lesson plan looks like. You can download it, the lesson plans, and also open educational resources to help teachers and parents to guide children in building digital resilience, well-being, and inclusion. And it's a free access as well. Okay, so that's it for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aya. So again, I have a question to our audience. Would you like to ask something, Aya, about this part of our work? Sorry. Okay, so thank you again. If not, now I would like to introduce our last work package, and our representatives will tell a few words about it. First, it will be Daria, who is representing our university, because we were co-leaders in this work package with our partner from Cyprus. So Daria, the floor is yours, and then next it will be Eleni Trihina from University of Nicosia, who will be presenting the more technical part of this work package. I mean,
something is missing.
The pilot is missing. Did you take it with you, maybe? It's here.
Okay. Thank you, Marta. The main task of the last work package, which is number 4, is to design, to test, and to deliver the program training devoted to cyberbullying prevention. And there are 2 institutions responsible for this work package, which is our university and also Cyprus. And I will just shortly introduce the theoretical approach to the training program, whereas Eleni would show you how the program was designed digitally. Okay, so let's start. Okay. Yes, the main target group of a training program are teachers, but I think that it could be also interesting for all that are interested in subject matter. So the main goal is to equip school staff with the skills that would be helpful in coping with bullying accidents. And the program has been already tested in our partners countries, and the length of the program was 16 hours, and the program was designed in a blended learning formula. So majority parts of sub-modules were run through our platform individually by our partners. The program was based on 3 parts. The first part was related with the theory, so we provided a grasp information knowledge regarding bullying. The second is the practical one, and it is collection of good practices, strategies and solutions that could be considered to be implemented in schools. And well, my personal opinion is that this is quite unique because we collected the solutions, good practices that comes from our project partners. So we collected the solutions that are implemented in schools in Cyprus, in Italy, in Greece, in Ireland, so the participants can benefit from our international experience. And the third part is related with exploring our online platform, which we would talk and explain later. As I said, the training has been already tested, and it lasts 3 days. The first day was an introduction day when the trainer introduced the main assumptions of the course and how to navigate the platform. And also during the first day, participants went through the theory part. During the second day, it was also the exploration of our platform with the good practices samples. And the third, participants could explore and find out our resources that were elaborated during our project. So the simulator you have already tested, the open educational resources, and also the lessons plans dedicated to elementary and secondary schools. Yeah, and well, the first module, as I said, is devoted to the theory part, so our participants get to know what is cyberbullying, what are its forms, what are the consequences regarding the bullying experience. The second module is devoted to, as I said, good practices, so our participants could find out the information regarding the strategies, approaches, good practices that were collected by our project partners. And the third module is the exploration of our deliverables. So participants tested the simulator, they ran through the lessons plans and open educational resources. And what was also additional task, and it was done face-to-face with participants, so they elaborated action plan, and I will tell you about that soon later. Each of project partners invited 20 school staff, 20 teachers that ran through the course, ran through the modules, and within this 20 participants, we chose 4 that would elaborate, design action plan, which is the detailed scenario of a chosen deliverables that that is elaborated within the project. So, for example, they could choose simulator, they could choose one of the scenario, and they wrote together with other participants the detailed scenario in what way and how they would use this particular resource. And then they came back to their schools and they did the lesson. They could do the workshop with the usage of this resource, or they could use the simulator in the individual contact. And we asked them, these 4 educators, to complete the action plan, which is the detailed scenario of a usage of this resource. So the lesson plan, the workshop. And we ask them also to provide the feedback, what work or not, and with some suggestions for modification. And we also ask them to send the action plan back to us. We will translate it in English and send and launch on our platform. And this will be treated as an additional educational resource that others who would run the course again could use as a already tested with students scenario. Thank you. And now Eleni will show you how this works on our platform.
Okay. Yeah, we need the QR code. Until we found the QR code, good morning from me as well. My name is Celine Trihina, and I'm representing the University of Nicosia, who is co-leading Work Package 4, that is a training program for school leaders, educators, and school staff. Yes, thank you. So, following the theoretical part that was presented previously by our colleague from the University of Humanities and Economics in Łódź, we invite you to scan this QR code on your mobile phone. Take 1 or 2 minutes. And when you are ready, please make an eye contact with me so I'm aware that you can follow me when presenting the platform. All set? Perfect. So, when scanning the QR code, you will be directed to our e-learning platform. Actually, what we have presented, all the modules included in the training program have been transferred online in our learning management system on Moodle, as for all users to have easy access and free access to the 3 modules that are available online. So, once you visit our e-learning platform, you should first create an account. It's an easy step. Okay, you can click here, create an account, create a new account. And then you should provide your name, surname, and importantly, a unique email address. And you can then easily receive access to our platform. Once done, you will receive an email notification to the email address you have provided. You can verify your account by clicking on the link included on the email that you will receive in your email account. And then you will be directed to our Moodle platform, and you can then enroll yourself in all our courses that are available. The courses are 3, as presented before. Module 1, the theoretical background, and so on and so forth. So upon successful login, you can have unrestricted access to all of our available 3 courses, offering the following 5 languages. So the languages of our consortium: English, Polish, Greek, French, and Irish. Key features to have in mind: all material is available online 24/7, so you can access them anytime you prefer on your own time. All courses include interactive quizzes, videos, articles, and educational material. As presented before, each module is divided in corresponding sub-modules. So by clicking on module and enrolling yourself in module 1, you will then see the material for all the sub-modules of module 1. So you will notice that all of our courses have the same structure. This has been done in an effort to familiarize yourself with the structure of our courses and find them more easily to follow. You can start with the learning outcomes in order to see what the specific module is about and what you will learn more by following the specific course. You can then review the keywords as to familiarize yourself with important concepts and terms before reading the main material. And then moving to the good part, to the learning material that our consortium has prepared. It consists of the lesson material, learning material in a Word format. This Word document provides detailed explanation and in-depth content, and we have also prepared, based on the learning material, a PowerPoint presentation. This presentation includes visual summaries as well as key concept highlights. Moving on, we have included some additional resources that you can access in order to enhance your knowledge on the terms developed and discussed previously in the learning material. For example, you can see that we have included case studies, videos, practical guides, or any other resources that we found useful. And at the end of each module, you can attempt an assessment quiz in order to test your knowledge and see whether there are any gaps, and you can go back to find out more on the terms that you feel that you would like to find out more, or you feel that there are some gaps. Good news that for each module that you complete, upon completion of the assessment quiz, you can automatically receive a certificate so that you can use for your portfolio, etc. Please feel free to register on our platform, explore our modules, and your feedback is really important for us. We are now in the final stages of our project, so any feedback is more than welcome. Thank you. And any questions? I'm here.
Thank you. Thank you, Eleni.
Thank you.
Okay, so we finally managed to complete our first part of the conference, which was the presentation of our project deliverables. So here is our website. You can scan the QR code. As my colleagues mentioned previously, all the intellectual outputs we produced within the project will be free of charge. You can use it during your classes with your students, but also your students can use it to fight cyberbullying, to know this phenomenon. So you are very welcome to visit it. And now I would like to say that it's time for a coffee break. Finally. So we will meet in 20 minutes. It will be 20 to 12. here again, and then we will start the next part of the conference, which will be the speeches of our guests. So now it's free time. Thank you.
After the break, we start the second part, and this part of the conference is devoted to the speeches about electronic aggression and samples of prevention that can be considered to be implemented in schools. And I would like to invite our special guest, Professor Jacek Pyżalski, who will try to answer the question what we know after 2 decades of research on electronic aggression.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm very grateful for the invitation, and actually for me it's a totally difficult task because I've been researching the topic for 20 years. Even now I'm doing 2 active projects that are very much dedicated to this topic, and I got 20 minutes for 20 years of research. So it's, you know, it's something like to put the elephant into a small box, you know, and it's always impossible. But I will try to say a few maybe wise words about what we know. Actually, it would be easier to say what we don't know. It seems 20 years is a long time, so we know everything, but actually it's not like this. And if you ask me about the practice, if we know enough to be very effective in counteracting electronic forms of aggression, I would say also no. So we know something. We know something that is useful, but it's a lot to do to know more. And actually, I think that we also found this in this project, that okay, we do something, we aim to be very successful in combating or preventing cyber forms of or digital forms of aggression, but then we found that even if you do a lot, even if you put a lot of effort, it's not that easy. Okay, so let's go. Yeah, does it work or not? Oh, it's something that it seems, yeah, started to work. So how it all started? It was the year 2005, and in the United States, in some other countries, there were tragic situations when young people targeted by internet, by their peers, they sometimes ended their life. It was a lot of public interest and public emotions about this. The media was full of this situation. And it was the start of also researchers like me to look closer at those issues, not like the journalists look at the issues, but as the researchers look at the issues. And actually it started with the action of Professor Smith, who died 2 years ago. And Professor Smith, it was the well-known professor working on traditional normal school bullying, school peer aggression. He started the COST action. I was the part of this action. The action, you see the number of the action is European Science Foundation Network, and the action was devoted to the news, to this new form of school aggression or peer aggression, when you use internet and other digital tools as the tools to conduct hostile actions. And I must say it was interesting who was in the action, who were the other researchers, yes? Because they were typically the school psychologists and also educators who for many years worked on normal school bullying. So this school bullying without this cyber part, yes? What is normal school bullying? Normal school bullying, or typical, or we call this traditional school bullying, is hostile actions that you do against your peers in school that doesn't necessarily require using digital tools. So for example, hitting, physical aggression, or verbal aggression when you call names, when you threaten people, yes, but also some things like not so often discussed as, for example, exclusion, yes, you behave as someone is not existing, yes, you just throw this person away and you don't talk to the person, you pretend as the person doesn't exist, which is actually the very painful and harmful form of peer aggression and very much neglected. Yes, we don't recognize this as something very serious, but it is. And this kind of bullying is researched for many years, yes? So I mean this kind of bullying is researched for 50 years, or even now, I would say even, like this, from 70s, yes? In 70s we started to research traditional school bullying, and we know for the 50 years of research that it has very negative impact of those who are victims, particularly those who are victims for the long period of time. We know that sometimes the effects are much more longer than only the time when you are at school. So even if you approach adults who were for a long time victims of school aggression, or peer bullying, peer violence, you can see the signs in their mental health many years after they left the schools. Yes, for example, there is Australian temperament projects when people are now 50 and they are let's say studied or researched for when they were 10. Yes, every 3 years we approach these people and we check what is changing in them, and those who were identified as the victims of bullying, they've got effects in mental health when they are 50 years. So someone would say it's so long time ago when they were at school, but still there is the connection, yes. And when we go further, now we've got electronic bullying or cyberbullying, as you call it. I will tell you later why I use electronic aggression, not electronic or not cyberbullying. But the question for us in this room is, okay, if you bring technology as the tool to conduct aggression or to conduct violence, does it bring any new mechanisms or any new effects? Or is there a qualitative difference? Yes. What is different? Yes. Why this kind of tool is changing anything in those who perpetrate, those who are victims, those who are bystanders, who look around? But even the more important and vital question is, if we've got some measures, some methods to combat traditional bullying, this bullying without digital tools, do we need any new tools or any new mechanism or education to combat cyber version, yes? Or we can use, or maybe we've got some universal methods. When we approach them, we will target both at the same time, yes? So we've got one method, and maybe this method is effective toward traditional bullying, and at the same time, cyberbullying, yes? If we only focus on this, because I will show in a moment that cyberbullying is only one type of electronic aggression. Electronic aggression is much broader than only cyberbullying. Okay, so when we talk about the media and violence, there was always connection, you know? Even before internet, there were a lot of fuss about, for example, aggressive films on television or aggressive movies, yes? Maybe you remember, for example, that you couldn't approach the cinema when you were minor because they said, okay, you are too young, yes? You are not allowed to go to the movie because there is violence in the movie. There is blood and there is violence in the movie. So we were always connecting media and violence. But now we've got internet that is different, yes? That is interactive, yes? Normally in traditional media you don't communicate, you are just observer, you are the watcher, you watch the movie or you watch the clip. But now, okay, you watch, and you watch much more than before, yes? There is so many people that are broadcasting things, and there is so okay, you cannot compare the internet and even the best broadcaster with many channels. It's a lot more stuff, and the stuff now is not controlled. Okay, we try to control this, but for example, let me give you the example. You cannot see, okay, in the past, you could have not seen, for example, execution, yes, on TV because nobody would show this. But now, on the former Twitter, now the X, yes, you can find such films like easily, you know, when you see, for example, the real, total violence, yes? But the most important change comparing television and the internet is that on the internet is also the place of communication, of social life, and it's the place when you are not only the observer, but you are also the person who is broadcasting, yes, or who is presenting, or who is communicating, not only the person who is, let's say, observing something, yes? And that means you could be approached by other people in this medium, so you can be the victim, but at the same time you can be a perpetrator, or both. And many people are both, you know? So it's not only that they do one thing. So let's start. Let's start going deeper. When you ask me if bullying and cyberbullying is something different or it's the same, I would say the answer of what we know after 20 years, the answer is ambiguous. You can say yes, you can say no. So for what you can say it's the same thing. Look, I did at least 4 really big studies with thousands of people, sometimes in 20 countries, on bullying and cyberbullying. And in all the studies I did, but not only mine, but also the studies of the other researchers, there is a total big overlap. So what I mean by overlap? Normally it's like this, that you cannot, or you very rare is that you can find the person, the young person, who is the perpetrator, so the person who does aggression online, but at the same time this person is not doing the aggression or aggressive acts in traditional way. So it's the same people. Normally it's the same people. Very rarely it's different people. So yes, that's one thing. When you go to the victims, it's the same. When you are the victim of cyber, mostly you are the victim of traditional bullying, and normally it's even the same people who are doing this against you. So it's a big overlap. Okay, it's not the total overlap. Sometimes it's a little bit disconnected. For example, some people who are victims at school, they are perpetrators online, but it's also connected. You know why? Because they cannot defend, they cannot retaliate, so give back in the traditional, because they are too afraid or they are too weak or something like this. But they go in on the internet, and the internet gives them the opportunity to pay back to someone, you know, because it's easier for them. But still it's connected, yes? But still it's connected because it's the same people, and it's going on among the same people. What is the practical conclusion of this? One is like, we should address bullying and cyberbullying at the same time. Because addressing cyberbullying without addressing traditional bullying is like you've got the dragon with many heads, as you know from the fairy tales, and you say, I only target one head. The dragon is still there, yes? So actually, you have to really approach both things at the same time. And in many cases, there are universal methods to target bullying and cyberbullying at the same time. I'll give you the example. If you've got the new group, for example, the new students, and you take care that the students mix together, that everybody is got connection with other people. For example, you've got the first semester, and in the first semester, everybody sits with different persons for a week during the first semester. And after a week we change, and you change and you change. And after the semester, you have the experience of sitting with everybody in the class. So you had time to know this person, to have some contact, to have some connection with them. And this is very preventive action. You know why? Because this connection prevents you from being negative to the person. Yes, you know the person, you are accustomed to the person, so you do not will to do something unpleasant to this person, no matter if it's digital or not digital. Yes, you don't want to scold this person or call this person names, but at the same time you are less prone to comment harshly on the internet or do something bad on the internet. So this is universal, yes? If you do this, it's at the same time against bullying and against cyberbullying. So one argument is it's the same. But another argument is something different. You know why? Because there are some new mechanisms, psychological mechanisms, because what we do when we communicate on the internet is what the scientists call computer-mediated communication. Now it's face-to-face communication, what we do. But computer-mediated communication is the communication that takes place with technology among us, yes? So on one side it's me, here is technology, and there is another people, for example, you. And of course, it's very, very broad topic. Even it's the special academic journal of computer-mediated communication, really. So it's so much important topic that is a special dedicated academic journal on the mechanism of computer-mediated communication. That means should be something different in this communication, and these differences also impact the possibility to involve in electronic aggression. Yes? And what are those differences? Of course, there are different kinds of computer-mediated communication. Could be written one, like on WhatsApp. Yes, that we don't see each other, we just chat. Yes, writing something. But could be visual. Yes, we can connect on Zoom. And we see each other, see our gestures and our, faces and sight and everything, yes? Could be only vocal, yes? When we connect only voice message, yes? Could be like this. But particularly this written communication changes everything. Because in written communication, we lack a lot of nonverbal cues, yes? We write something, and actually someone reads something, yes? But okay, normally when we meet face to face, we say something, so the person understands what we say, but also we read the intentions, we read the emotions from how we do it, yes? So actually from your nonverbal part of communication, yes? So how is this lack of nonverbal cues connected to, and we know it also from experiments, how it's connected to aggression online? A lot. The first thing is, when you talk to someone, you could maybe have no intention to harm, and maybe you can even misinterpret what you are doing, yes? I talked to many perpetrators during my research, also doing interviews, and in many questions and in many situations, there were not intention to harm. So why they did it? Because they misinterpreted what they were doing, yes? You talk to someone and you think you are joking, yes? And at the same time, this person on the other side, and you don't see this, because face-to-face you will see that the person would get red or sweating or threatened or something. You would say, okay, and it would stop you in many circumstances. But here you can go on, because you may think, okay, we are quarreling, or we are making fun of, or we are laughing, or we are maybe on the edge, but we don't do something, something unpleasant or something hostile or something aggressive there. And I would say it's very common. In 2008, I did a big study of Polish 15 years old, like 2,000 people, a lot, yes? And I remember I provided the question in the questionnaire, have you ever had the situation when we are talking with someone on the internet or through the mobile phone or writing something, and your intention was to make fun of, but in the end, it turned out to be very, very painful for the other person. So have you had the situation that your intentions were okay, but the effects were negative? Yes, and you know how many? Almost 60% said that they had this situation. So you know what is important about electronic aggression and about the aggression or cyberbullying, aggression online, that in many cases it's done by the people who are not intending to harm someone, to give pain, but they gave. Yes, and for example, when we do our practical educational materials or workshops with people, we focus on this: how to recognize what you do, how to stop, how to reflect, and to raise these competences of, let's say, responsible communication. Oh, so I've got not so much time, but let's go deeper. If you ask me if those people who do things online, aggression online, are the same people who do traditional aggression, I already said yes, and that's true. But also, if you go deeper, so if you look for things like risk factors. So what happens in the life of those who are doing this? So, for example, if you ask me if being a perpetrator of traditional bullying is connected to aggression in the family. So, for example, bad relations within the family, so it's connected. But if you are, in what way? You can imagine in what way. Those who have got more hostile and negative relations in the family have the statistical higher tendency to be perpetrators of traditional bullying, yes, to do traditional bullying to the others. But if you'd ask me about the research of 20 years, if this connection is also present in cyberbullying, I would say also yes. Yes? So it's the same risk factors as such, but also it's the same protective factors. If you've got, for example, positive peer relationships, these positive peer relationships could protect you from being the perpetrator in both contexts, in this digital context and in this traditional context, yes? So look, it's much more related than, after 20 years, I would say it's much more related than we thought. I remember 20 years ago, our discussions, these researchers, they said, okay, it's totally new, it's something new, it changes everything, yes? But the more we go deeper into it, the more I would say it's much more similar. And we have to remember this, because treating this phenomenon as something separate, as something that is, disconnected, okay? There is virtual and real, yes? Actually, it's bad terms for this. Virtual aggression, virtual myth is not true. But everybody who was the victim of cyber aggression would say it's true, yes? So virtual it's even misleading term for this, yes? I would say, you know what we use? We use online aggression and offline aggression, which recognizes the difference, but doesn't disregard something as being virtual or unreal or not true or something like this, yes? So this is it, yes? So what I can do now, I've got 3 minutes normally, I would say, so I can show you why electronic aggression. What is typology? You know what is typology? Typology is something that, okay, you've got the big umbrella or you've got the big box or the big bag with the label electronic aggression. So all aggression that is done with digital methodology, with digital tools, yes? And one is cyberbullying, yes? And we know what it is from my first part. It's among young people. It's connected to traditional bullying, and it's all in the same group, So it's taking place within, for example, your class, or within the people from the same sports team, okay? So this is this kind of electronic aggression, and this is called cyberbullying, and this is your project. You are mostly focused on this. But what else can we find? A lot. Because aggression on the internet can extend beyond these people you know from your classroom and could also affect other people, and other people could also be involved, and this is something different. Let me show you, because my first typology was 2011. Almost nobody was talking at this time about the typology. Everybody was only focused on cyberbullying and on this bullying connected to school bullying. Yes, I extended this, and when I extended this, for example, I found that there is something like aggression, online aggression against celebrities. When you go on the internet and you address, for example, a singer or a famous scientist or someone, yes? And okay, what is the connection between cyberbullying and this? The same tool. You use the internet, or you use the chat room, or you use the forum, or you use the social networking site to do it as the place where you do it, yes? But what is different? That you attack the person who is totally unconnected to you. You don't know this person. Okay, you know it as a celebrity, yes? By the way, this is particularly I removed this because it's the actual place when the young girl during the championship, football championship, she laughed and she was totally hated and totally attacked by the other people, like they were laughing at her. So she became a celebrity. So I would like to show that everybody can be a celebrity on the internet, also in the negative sense when you are attacked, yes? But what is interesting about this aggression against celebrities, that when we go, because there is a lot of research on this, particularly the team from Antwerp University, they are doing this, there is totally different mechanism. When you ask the perpetrators, those who do this, why you do this, they say, it's nothing bad. Celebrities, they need attention, so I'm giving them attention, yes? Or, for example, they don't mind about it, yes? I even did good things for them, talking about them or attacking them or doing things. That's not true. Actually, that's not true, because there is some research on celebrities, and they pay a big price of being attacked on the internet, even if they claim that they've got distance, they laugh at it. Actually, not so many people could distance from this experience. But you see, this is another kind of electronic aggression, this digital aggression against celebrities. And when we talk about schools, there is the question if we target only cyberbullying, so when the target is your peer, or we go also for this. And if you go for this, do we need the different methodology than for bullying and cyberbullying? I would say yes, a little bit. Okay, now, and this I will have to finish because I know the program is very packed. There is another kind of aggression. When you don't attack the particular person, but you attack people generally because they belong to the particular groups. There were two scientific actions. I was the member of both. One was on bullying and cyberbullying and migration. So when let's say the reason for attacking is that the person is of different race, nationality, religious origin, with this kind of migration we have in Europe, it's growing, and you understand it's growing. But then you can go on the internet and you can say all the Christians, Italians, French people, all the way, or they are something, yes? Normally it seems you don't attack anybody in particular, but actually when you affiliate to this group and you see this communicate, it's also against you, yes? So, but it's different, yes? It's not within your class, for example. Could be, but it's not always, yes? Sometimes you generally attack the group of people. So this is another thing, yes? How to address this, because then you've got the whole psychology of prejudice, yes? And how you can attack this, yes? So what is my message? My message is, I would say, with this small time, I'm always disappointed to having such short time. I could go deeper into it, but I would say something in the end. Dana Boyd is a famous such a sociologist who wrote about online behavior of young people. She wrote the book about the role of new technologies in particularly young people's lives. And she gave the best title I could imagine to this book. The book has the title, It's Complicated. And actually, I would say the same about electronic aggression and electronic bullying. When you are very general, it's very easy. But when you go deeper and you see there are different kinds, there are different psychological mechanisms. There is this different things, even with the simple things like intentionality, that is really, really not always present. It's normally present in traditional aggression, but here it's risky a little bit. It's more complicated, and that is also the reason why it's so complicated to be really effective in prevention of those phenomena, both bullying and cyberbullying, but I would say cyber version is even more difficult. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this interesting and synthetic speech about what we know after the 2 decades on electronic aggression. And I wish we had more time. I totally agree. And the next speech will be delivered by Dr. Kamila Witerska. In her speech, we'll find out that friendship can be considered as one of the protective factors against cyberbullying. And the title is Friendship as a Long Life Protective Factor of Risky Behavior Prevention.
Okay, hello everyone. I would just like to thank you to the Professor Brzeżalski for the very interesting speech, and partners from project also, because what I would like to say now is something from another side. Of course, you told about it, because you told about the support that peers can give. That peers can give you to support you of the cyberbullying, because as we can see from the previous presentation, the cyberbullying is very commonly made by peers, but also peers can be the group of protection that they can protect you of the cyberbullying and bullying. I hope. So, first of all, what is friendship? And friendship is there is a lot of definition of friendship, but I took the one from American Psychological Association, that friendship is a voluntary relationship between 2 or more people that is relatively long-lasting, and in which those involved tend to be concerned with meeting the one's needs and interests, as well as satisfying their own desires. Friendships frequently develop through shared experiences in which the people involved learn that their association with one another is mutually gratifying. I underlined here some words, what is very important for thinking about somebody that he or she is our friend, that friendship is voluntary. Nobody can force us to be a friend to anybody else, or nobody can force anybody to be a friend to you. This is relatively long-lasting, so it should last for some time. It can't be. We cannot say that friend is somebody that we met, I don't know, 5 minutes ago. Yes, that it should last some time. And what is very important, friendship develops through shared experience. That we have to do something frequently to maintain the friendship. It is not like a perpetuum mobile that works separately. We have to make some effort to develop our friendship. There are very different kinds of friendship. We say about friendship mosaic because we have different kinds of friendship. I would like to show you just 3 examples, if it will be possible with voice.
He was my trainer.
Yes, that was first, and we became friends.
Yeah.
And now we hang out.
What's your favorite thing about him?
His steadfastness. He's just solid. He's always there. Also, he's gay, which makes it more fun for me.
What's your favorite thing to do together?
we're both cancers, we're both homebodies, so
We both like Diet
just,
Coke.
Yeah,
So
get
we
a
just
Diet Coke,
make
we're gonna go sit in the park, hang out, gossip,
yeah.
chit-chat.
Diet Coke
kind of thing.
dates.
Yeah.
What's something you want to see in his future?
Oh!
Gosh, we're getting deep.
I want to see him on Broadway, and I want to see him in a happy, healthy relationship.
Okay, we can
Lots
stop
of little
now.
babies.
All right. So what's here in this story of friendship? You can find a lot of such short stories on the TikTok Besties New York City, for example. And in this story, what people always, very often say about friendship, that a friend is somebody you can count on, that is always there in every situation. If you write phone to the person, it's always, his or she is always there. All right, can we have the second one, please? Thanks.
Would you mind telling us the story of how you first met?
I don't care if you don't care. I don't care. You tell us. Okay, got it. Yeah, I recently decided to become sober, and we met at an AA meeting.
What was your first impression of her?
To be honest, I was a little overwhelmed by the whole situation, and it wasn't until we really had an opportunity to drop in and connect that I realized that her story was my story, and I just felt like I was looking at myself in the mirror. Yeah, I felt really moved, and I started crying, and then we hugged, and I was like, I think that this person's going to be really impactful in my sobriety journey.
What was your first impression of her?
She said she felt chaotic, but I could feel there's like a calm in the storm in her, and I was like, I'm so glad I met this person. Today I was supposed to have different plans, and those fell through, so I could spend the day with her. Oh.
And how long ago did you first meet?
18 hours ago? Yeah.
Really?
Less than that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
What's something
thank
you want to
you.
see in her future?
I want to see her grow in her.
Okay, we can't say that they are friends. They say at the first moment, he asked them, "Are you friends?" And they say in the same moment, "Yes, we are." But after that, they say that they know each other from 18 hours. So I think it's good. It can be good beginning on friendship, but in the definition of friendship, they are not yet friends. Yes. Okay, and the last one, please.
Old dear friends.
Yeah.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend in
he's
college.
my ex-boyfriend in college.
We met in college, and we have a great story even how we
Let's
met.
hear it.
I'm a comedian, and I had a newspaper column in our college newspaper in SUNY Oneonta, and I wrote an article called "Oops, It's My Boyfriend," about how all the women in the dorm room would all run to the one phone at the end of the doorway whenever the phone rang.
This was before cell phones.
This is before cell phones.
So it was sexist and patronizing.
Totally, and I wrote a comedy column about it, and then
I wrote a letter to the editor saying, who is this jerk?
I'm an ass.
Right. And then we ended up meeting at a party, and it was like, you wrote the column, you wrote the letter, and then we laughed, and we've been best friends ever since.
And we dated for about a year until she dumped me, but we've been best friends ever since.
Yeah, we're still friends.
How long ago was this?
We've been friends since '76.
Yes.
What's your favorite thing about her?
Oh man, she's brilliant, she's a lot of fun, and she's the best friend anybody could have.
And I'm easygoing.
What's your favorite thing about him?
Like I said, he's very smart, and he's a great guy to travel with because he knows all the cool things to do in a place. So he's a good resource.
Okay,
and he's a lot of
thank
fun.
you.
Yeah, we have fun. We've always had a lot of fun together.
Okay, as you can see in the first stories, they are friends, totally. They know each other from 76. I was born in 76. So very long time. And what else? They say that what they like in each other, she's funny, so the sense of humor is very important. The kind of sense of humor, I think. And also the woman says that I like traveling with him. So what is in definition of friendship? Common experiences, that they do something together, they develop their friendship. It is very important, right? And in the title of my speech, we have also risky behaviors. So because my thesis is that friendship is a very important factor of preventing you from risky behaviors. One of the definitions of risky behavior is that they refer to actions that carry a risk of negative consequences for both the physical and mental health of an individual and their social environment. So there's a very wide range of these consequences. And my thesis is also that in prevention strategies of risky behaviors, the friend is somebody who can do the most. Also in prevention of cyberbullying in this context. For example, in informational strategy, the friend is somebody who can tell you about the consequences. And this is a better person than your parent, that your teacher, and so on. The friends, your peers, are people, and always the people in the same situation as these two girls that met in AA meeting. She said, I felt that her story is like my story, that they have connection in this situation. So a friend can be somebody who can tell you about these consequences. Educational, that in what situation we learn personal social skills. In situations with our friends, if our peers, we can learn the most the social skills. Alternatives, searching for some positive alternatives, positive actions such artistic, social, sporting actions. We also, first of all, we are drawn into the actions by friends. Very often people say, I started to go to some theater classes because my friends were there. And she drew me into it. So also friend can draw you into some positive actions and intervention strategies. So when there is a situation that we need some intervention, very often we call to a friend, or we need a conversation with a friend. Yes. This is the first thing we think of, not about psychologists, psychiatrists, but the friend that we can talk to. So what I would like to underline here, that the friends and friendship, this is very important factors of preventing the risky behavior, cyberbullying, and things like that. But as we said in the beginning of this conference today, also peers, are the cyberbullies, the aggressors. And very often people misunderstand some relations as friendship relations, but in fact there are some toxic relations. So what we have to be very aware of, that some of our relationships that we think that they're relationships, and very often young people think that they have friendship relationship. This is not friendship relationship. So we have to be aware of toxic relationship that we can think that they are friends, but they really not. About the relationship with constant criticism, controlling behavior, emotional manipulation, jealousy and possessiveness, lack of respect of boundaries, gaslighting, neglect of or indifference, verbal or physical abuse. So the person who does it for us, this is not a friend. Yeah, this is some toxic relationship. And a very short example on the like proof from my thesis is from Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is an American anthropologist and lawyer. So I would like you to listen to Simon Sinek for a while.
I become completely obsessed with the concept of friendship. I mean, there's an entire industry to help us be better leaders. There's an entire industry to help us be better parents. There's an entire industry to teach us how to eat better, how to exercise better. And yet there's nothing to help us be better friends. And if you think about it, all of the challenges that we're facing today, mental health challenges, rising rates of depression, anxiety, inability to cope with stress, even the obsession with longevity, friendship fixes all of those things. Friendship is the ultimate biohack. And if you ask most people, are you a good friend? Most people think they are. But you start to peel back the onion just a little bit, right? Would you cancel on a friend for a meeting, or would you cancel on a meeting for a friend? Oh, but my friend would understand, right? Or if you look at the best relationships, right? The best romantic relationships in marriages, the couples that you're like, that's the kind of relationship I want. If you ask them, How do you do it? They all say the same thing, which is it's a lot of work, and we put the effort in and do the work. When was the last time anybody ever said, I put the effort in and do the hard work for my friends? And this is why I've become so obsessed with friendship. I don't think most of us actually aren't good friends. And I think the reward that we get from working hard to be a good friend is not only good for the person with whom we are friends, but the intense reward of working hard for another human being, it pays back in dividends of mental health, the feeling that you're never...
Okay, you can see all the speech, of course, in the internet. But what Simon Sinek says here, this is very important. Would you cancel the meeting for a friend, or would you cancel the friend for the meeting? Sometimes some prioritizes are more important for us, and the friendship should be our priority. At the end, what I would like to say, now we are doing here in University of Humanities and Economics in Łódź, the project Friend. And what is very interesting here, that the friendship is lifelong. But some of other people, we've made some focus group interviews in the project, and some of other people say that it's impossible to find a friend in their age. That they say that friendship is for young people. They have maybe one friend, and they say it's impossible to find new friends. Yes, so in my opinion, we can always find a friend and new friends. There are really mosaic of friendship that we can have different friends of different age, different sex, and so on and so on. And what we do in this project, what is very important, we are building the skills of finding friends, of developing relationships. And I think it is also a very important skill that should be developed in cyberbullying prevention and bullying prevention. Developing communication skills of making new relationships. You can also find us on the Friend Project but we are not, as this project is ending, we are just at the beginning of the project, so there is not so much on the site. And thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for this inspiring speech. Definitely, I think that the building positive relation is definitely a protective factor against risky behavior. And the author of the next speech is Dr. Kamila Lasocińska, who will definitely show us that we can be saved by art. And her speech title is Saved by Art, Artistic Expression as an Area of Self-Development, Creativity and Positive Prevention.
Good afternoon. I will continue the speech of Kamila Witerska because I will tell you more about prevention than bullying and cyberbullying, and I will present my favorite method, which is connected with art and artistic activities. And I think that we can be saved by art, and we should have more art in education. And I also will present you my activities with students and children, which are connected with prevention work connected with art. And first, I would like to start with questions. What does art offer to pedagogy, and what is its value? And what new possibilities does art offer in educational and preventive work? And first of all, I would like to explain the idea of positive prevention, which means that we concentrate on positive protective factors, which was mentioned in previous speeches. And modern prevention, especially educational prevention, is an action that precedes the appearance of signs of problem behavior. So we act before the difficulties we find in our environment. This means activities aimed at developing strengths and resources that make young people more resistant to risk factors, and therefore we prepare them more to live in a world of various threats. So, what are protective factors? These are personal resources which we should develop during school education, in families, and in peer groups. These are the resources that increase an individual resilience to difficult life situation, the whole life, and they help person to cope with them better. So protective factors can buffer or diminish the impact of risk factors. What does it mean in practice? The idea of positive prevention is not about removing threats, but because eliminating them in our lives is practically impossible. We always meet with difficult situations, with bullying, cyberbullying. So by this idea, we want to make a person stronger, and help a person to be more resistant to threats. And here I introduce the positive prevention categories, which are useful when we will talk about art. So these are mainly social competences, emotional and cognitive development, positive attitude towards oneself, self-confidence, and internal resources. Also, here is important to have positive identification and social bonds, clear value system and pro-social behavior, adaptability and resilience. And there are a lot of positive strategies. For example, friendship can be a kind, and all our empowering activities focus on building a child's developmental potential. And we can use variety of methods, and I would like to make more popular using art. Art is connected with passion, creativity, and can be a very good method in education. And I assume that these methods, we can call it education through art, and that can support the creative development of pupils, as well as development of their passion and interests. Why it is worth considering art as a path to positive prevention? First of all, I would like to mention catharsis. This is not new idea. Aristotle argued that art affects the intellect and emotions, and contact with works of art and creative activity leads to purification. So we have better contact with our emotion, we can express emotions, and we call it catharsis. This is the process that enriches a person internally, so that the person is stronger and more resistant on difficult situations. And I would like to come back to Herbert Reed. This is not a very new idea, but I think still important. Modern man, according to Herbert Reed, is like a bird with one wing clipped. This is because the world forces him to use wing of intellect, while the wing of feelings and imagination is disabled and crippled. So art is the opportunity to build a resilience, and according to Herbert Reed, harmonious flight can be ensured by art, which is a tool for integral development of man. Also, we should remember that art can reflect our own experiences. The Polish psychologist Stefan Schumann argues that art helps us understand the world, and also can be useful now when we have a lot of contact with digital reality, because it is important to know ourselves and to understand our feelings, our emotions, and to have contact with our internal world. Also, art is helping us to build the different point of view, to find different perspective for situation. So it can be the prevention of prejudice and the bullying, for example, among people who are against immigrants or something like that. The most important task of art is conduct a dialogue with the reality, showing that more than one shape and or interpretation of it is impossible. And it is, for example, the association with Cubism art, which was presenting different point of view and was learning us that we can see reality in different way. Art is a kind of therapy. It's a kind of therapy because it's helping us to make possible to express freely our emotions. Art can help us to solve problems and redefine them and find new perspectives. It is also activation and overcoming barriers. And for me, it is very important that some people are not able to to say about emotions. Sometimes non-verbal communication is giving a new sense of security, and some people can express more in this way of communication. Art is also based on metaphors and symbols, and this is the link between art and creativity and imagination. And imagination is a very protective factor because we should imagine how other people feel and how they react on our actions. And also art, here I would like to see as positive prevention because it is strengthening self-understanding and self-awareness. Art helps discovering one's own creative possibilities, discovering and developing passions, and also can help develop personal and social competences. Okay, and here are some proposals how we can use in education different form of art, because I'm not thinking only about traditional art as Leonardo da Vinci or like that, but here we have examples of artistic activities that shape social attitudes and educate, and we can introduce them to the process of teaching, of learning. I think that very interesting method is performance. This is artistic activities that engage both artists and audience. Installation, this is creating artistic spaces that engage audiences through the senses and emotions, and also provoke reflection on giving a social issue. Murals are popular in our city. You can look them everywhere, but we can also introduce creating murals on lesson in the class, and then convey social messages through visual images and symbols. Multimedia projects. These are various. We can use various media. This is now popular among young people who are very good in doing this. We can use film, photography, sound, and to convey social messages and engaging in accessible way. And the last is my favorite. This is art workshops. That means organized meeting where participants collaboratively create works that reflect their social experiences and reflection. So they can build also their personality, their strengths, and they discover their resources, and also build their social relationships in positive way. Our examples, this is the example from a workshop with students, and I will present only one task, which is developing the potential of students. During artistic workshop with students, I ask them to look for works of artists that can inspire their personal development and creative thinking. So this activity helps them understand themselves and their values, their goals. So they are looking for something what is fascinating for them in art, and they try to identify with this artwork. And the results are very interesting because this is very reflective work and make students more conscious of their potential, that develop their imagination and empathy. And here, this is one example. I am not. I am presenting Frida Kahlo because it is very popular artist among students, and they choose often this example. Maybe because the Frida Kahlo painting and her biography is very connected and very symbolic. And these are some reflection of students. I chose Frida Kahlo because she was a strong woman. She represents a true creative spirit. She created beauty out of pain. So the life of Frida Kahlo was painful, and if you don't know her life story, you can read it. But this is fascinating that she used art as a tool for self-determination and healing. So the art was here helping her to overcome difficulties. Despite pain, she celebrated life with strength and dignity. Painting was her mirror, therapy, and self-discovery. And this is the example how students use their. And the last is very important because this is our project which we realize free here, Kamila, Daria, and me. And it was a very successful workshop for children from primary school. We invited them to the special workshop about cats and dogs, but the idea was to develop empathy and social social connection by developing the connection with animals. And here we invited. Here is our poster, and this is the picture from art about cat and dog, which has the relation which not always are positive. And here it's a view from our workshops. You see, it was the meeting with real dogs. And after they have artistic activities, and here it's one example when they created an animal mask which protect them when I need it. So the children feel that they are powerful, that can overcome a difficult situation in their life. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your inspiring speech. And now, the last, but definitely not the least, Mrs. Magdalena Prasow from the Faculty of Psychology at our university with her speech, Survival of the Kindness, Empathy Against Bullying.
Hello, everyone. Okay, I hope that you are still doing great, full of energy, interest, and so on. As you can see, I believe in empathy, and also I believe in humanity. And this is the story I would like to share about what we can do to make this world a little bit better. Maybe not the ideal, but just good enough. I have no idea how to change the slides, but no idea where it is. Oh, thank you. That's something new. Okay, survival of the kindest. Being kind. You know, if you don't know what to do, it's better to be kind. However, it's a transformation of this, let's say, old concept, survival of the fittest. And Charles Darwin, that he popularized, and he was treated as the owner of this concept, he didn't think exactly about the fittest, you know, the strongest one, but it was misused. Misused to justify the violence, aggression, colonialism, wars, conflicts, inequalities, in order to make a world not the best place, I would say. Charles Darwin explained it as it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. That's a surprise. It is the one that is most adaptable to the changes. And the thing is, what he meant, what was the main idea behind this concept? Are we born to be the best, to be the strongest one? Are we born to use force, physical force, in order to abuse, to overuse other people, to treat them like slaves? In the 19th century, somehow that was the main idea behind some nationalisms. behind some other concepts. But according to the research that is still going on, it looks like that we might be born to be good, to be better, to develop, and to survive. Because the reason that we are still here is not the wars. We survived despite the wars, despite the aggression, despite the conflicts. We didn't kill each other. Like, our civilization still exists. Why? Because we treat each other with respect. Because we are altruists, deeply in our nature. Because we might learn empathy. We might learn how to relieve other people's suffering. And this is something that it keeps us alive. Cooperation, not competition. Friendship, as it was mentioned before. Not looking for the enemies. Our strength are our friends, not our enemies. And our enemies are not our weakness. It was said a lot about cyberbullying. And as I've seen, you know a lot, you have like huge knowledge, how to prevent, how to protect ourselves, what to do, how to report, make screenshots, report to the parents, for me, I suppose I'm too old to report it to my parents, but I can always say something. But the thing is, we know what to do, how to protect ourselves, not to be victims. But if you think about victim blaming, about the questions we permanently are asking to the victims, like, why are you doing it? You shouldn't go to the dark places. Your skirt is too short. Do not drink with strangers. Don't go there. Be careful. Be safe. I know, we should close our doors, not lose our keys. Maybe not talk to strangers, I wouldn't say so. Not eat candies, with the needles, which is, by the way, it's a fake story. But that's another story to share. But the thing is, should we really focus only on how to stop it? We are still placing the burden of stopping the cyberbullying on the victims. How about the bullies? How not to become a bully? We cannot stop it. We cannot say, okay, today we start a new, better world without bullies, respect each other, report, arrest them, new law regulations, something that protects us. But maybe we start with the source, with teaching people how not to become a bully. How to create a supportive environment that people, they think twice before they put some comments online. By the way, there is an online tool which is still in progress, like it's in development phase. Unfortunately, it's not ready yet. That it helps the users to take some time before posting something. And probably it has happened to you that you might have posted something online and then deeply regret it afterwards. And with bullying, it's quite similar. Not only people, they are not aware of the harm and pain they cause, but sometimes they just, I just did it without any reflections. And if we have some time to think, we decide not to do it. Empathy. That's an interesting thing for me. We are not born with it. We learn it. Of course, some people, they are, easily going, everything goes smoothly for them, and they are just ready to be empathic. For most of us, it's much more serious and complicated. We need time. We need practice. That's why we have lots of research that they show, this empathy training, it's not so supportive, not so efficient. Still the kids, they are bullying each other. But yeah, the training lasts 5 days. Great that there is, but still 5 days in the whole life cycle is not enough to teach empathy. We have whole life for it. Our brains are beautifully developed, not only for physics, that I still don't understand, unfortunately, but mostly for social skills, for communication, for cooperation, for living together in a kind of companionship. And we learn it through the whole life. At least we should. Now, that sometimes it doesn't work. But this is the place, the spot that we should draw our attention to. We should teach ourselves, our kids, our peers, empathy. And how to do it, of course, in theory, we know. We have nonviolent communication when we focus on the thing that it's crucial in modern times. And somehow, in my opinion, it is always missing. Listening. I'm this talkative person, I can, spend. There are some of my students that they know that I can spend hours on talking. And for me, it took me ages to learn to listen to other people. Not only, to hear them, because that's what we do. Like, we have all the senses, that's wonderful, most of us have. We can hear what other people say, but we do not listen to them. We cannot focus. We are deeply in our minds, with our thoughts, with our ideas, with our prejudices, stereotypes, and our ending of their stories. And this is something we should learn. We are taught how to speak. We are even taught how to give wonderful speeches, to make the audience, excited and like you now or something about. But we are not taught to listen to each other carefully. If we do not listen to each other, we do not understand other people's emotional states, our people's minds, and then we are eager to hurt them, sometimes without intentions, sometimes with intentions because still we are not able to dive into their feelings. And then if they suffer, we do not suffer, and we do not care. So, the fitness, physical strength. It looks like that it's not the fitness we are thinking about, because there is this saying I really like an eye for an eye will make the world blind. If we start punish each other, if we start attacking each other, we go nowhere. So our solution is to treat each other with empathy. And if we carefully start, okay, I do not recommend, it's a nice lecture, but maybe, you can read something else. But if you, by any chance, start reading Darwin's works, you will see that the fittest is the kindest one. And I would like to leave you with this statement and just to focus on it, that this is our success. This is the key factor that might protect us, like being kind, even to the unkind people, because these people are people who really need our kindness. Sometimes their unkindness is just a cry for help, is the lack of knowledge, is the lack of basic abilities that we can learn through life. Thank you.
Okay. I would like to thank you for all the speeches, that they were really interesting. But before I release all of you for the next coffee break, we would like to thank our speakers and our guests for their speeches. So maybe I would like to invite our speakers for the scene just for a moment. We will give you some small gifts, so please. Okay, guys. Okay, you can give some small gifts. And wait for the moment because there will be a group photo, okay? Poczekajcie, z tym poczekajcie. Okay, and now I would like also to invite the representatives of our patrons who gave us the patronage of our conference. Magdalena Senator, the representative of National Agency of Erasmus Plus program, and Małgorzata Bury, the representative of Education Board in Łódź. So please come on the stage. Okay. Okay, so we can squeeze a little bit because we will have a group photo right now.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And yes. Okay. Because we are now behind the schedule, to be honest, so I would like to invite you for a short break. We will a little bit squeeze it. So instead of 20 minutes, let's do it in 10, 15. And in 15 minutes, please come back here because we have very interesting part of our conference ahead of us, which will be the panel discussion. And you can be more interactive during the panel. Yes? Okay. So see you in 15 minutes. Thank you very much.